intangible assets, I'm just going back to the page that had the cash flow previous to the two spreadsheets. The last slide on that page, how many people are thinking about a high-tech, about a startup or starting a company that has some technology component in it? Anybody else product-based? Service-based? Cool. Okay, so if it's high-tech in nature, you don't have fixtures, right? You have this. And so what you have is an idea. What you have is something that you're going to create or build. You're going to use technology to do that. If you do it in a very unique way, in other words, if you create something that is the technology, you're going to want to protect it. And that's called intellectual property, right? Intellectual property. It's not something you can touch. It's in my head. It has value. I have value. I'm the one who owns it. So by protecting that code or protecting that patent or idea, you're protecting the company's asset. Consider protecting yourself. I mean, what you don't want to do is create something that's so fantastic, have no claim to it, and then be able to be, jumped by, somebody who's much bigger than you and able to do so. All right. So after the two spreadsheets, before you start this, think about your competition. Your idea is to, does anybody want to throw out an idea that we can work with for the business plan that we can kind of, push through?
Yeah, I had one. The business, cameras on trucks for their blind spots.
Say again,
cameras on trucks for their blind spots.
Okay.
I know they said don't imagine that you don't have competition. I don't really know if anybody who does that.
Okay, so similar to vehicles that have one in the back?
Yeah, but for 18-wheelers.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So what you're going to be doing, the opportunity that you've got is to, or some of the features that you have, right, is that you will have cameras that have high visibility and, high technology. They'll be able to withstand the rain, withstand wind, right, because these guys are doing a clip down the interstate. So those are the features that your product has. The benefits of that would be?
Possibly we get lobbyists to make it so that it can be an insurance discount, like a subsidy for just having a safer line of trucks, and we maybe have lobbyists so that those kind of things are mandatory. And since we don't have competition right now, we get all the money. And also of course you don't kill people, when you don't crash that much. And the cameras, the monitors would be in each A-pillar, and the cameras would be right inside the fender, the front fender. So basically, it's a pretty good idea. I won that backpack for it.
It's a great idea.
Good backpack too.
That's a great idea. Give me the $1.5 million back. This is the lottery ticket that I won, right? This is my money. I want you to have it.
Thank you.
All right, so that's a great idea. We're going to use that idea as we walk through the business plan, okay? All right, so the features that he's talking about is that he's going to have cameras within a truck. He's going to have high visibility. They're going to be placed in strategic places. The places will not impede the driver's vision outside any of the windows. Rather, they're actually going to help his vision in the blind spots that he has, right, he or she has. And then the key benefit, of course, is safety. I'm sure you can research that there's been various accidents involving children, involving, different, of course, different four-wheelers, different, automobiles. There's been numerous accidents. You can do research, find out how many, find out, what types of vehicles they involved, find out how many, fatalities there were. There's a lot of stuff that you can do online. All right, so we're going to switch to the business plan. We're going to take the idea and we're going to just kind of talk through, together as we walk through the components of the business plan. We'll just take bits and pieces, if you don't mind. All right. So, page 1. We already talked about it. There's a narrative, there's financial worksheets. This is just telling you what you're about to read, right? And there's various sections. You always do the executive summary last. You do it after you've walked through the rest of the business plan. It's only then that you are ready to write an executive summary. because it's only then you have gone through the process required. You don't build a summary and then build your numbers to match it. You go the other way. You build your numbers and then you do your executive summary to match it. So page 3 looks at the table of contents. These are all the components that you'll find within the document. This document actually was downloaded off the internet. It's called SCORE, right, which is an entity that's available within any major city that you can go to as a business owner and entrepreneur. And they are retired people who have lots of experience who can sit down and coach you through the process. So this is a repeatable document. There's 150 questions in it. They're the same 150 questions if you're doing this in Chicago or Detroit, LA or New York, right? Same stuff. And quite honestly, there's the same questions if you opened up a business book. They're the same questions that are in there. There's nothing unique. So, skip page 4. That's the executive summary. We're not allowed. You go to the next one. It's the product or service. What factors give you competitive advantages or disadvantages, right? So what are the pricing, the fees, the leasing structure of your product? Are you going to make them buy it or are you going to have them lease the product?
We're gonna make them buy it $1,600 a unit because we're gonna pay $400 for the cameras and $400 for the monitors from like a supplier, and then so we'll just sell them for double what it cost us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So times are tough, and I don't have $1,600. Am I blocked out of buying anything from you, or are you going to let me finance it?
Well, it's usually a fleet, like a truck, like maker. So like
Okay, a fleet
like
of trucks?
assume that they have at least 1K, you know.
Okay.
Because we do it at a batch of
1K
100.
per truck.
Yeah, per truck, and we
Right.
do like usually as a batch of like 100 trucks coming off the line at a time.
Okay, but it's $1,600 per truck.
Yeah.
Okay, so closer to $2,000 a truck. How many trucks are in every fleet on average?
I think we estimated 100. That's what I said.
100?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 200,000, right?
Yeah.
200,000. You're going to the company A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
Are there major players in this industry?
Yeah, Isuzu. That's the only one I know.
Good. Okay, knowing one is great. Okay, there's probably 10 more, right? And you're going to research that and you're going to find out who they are.
When you say industry, do you mean the trucks or like what I'm doing?
Trucking industry.
Oh yeah, no. That's
Well, they're your clients, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your customers, the trucking industry. You're not going after independents? Guys that own their truck? Just
not
one guy?
really right now, no.
Not right now.
Yeah.
All right, if you look at the number of trucks that are in fleets and those key accounts, right? And then you look at I would imagine hundreds of thousands of independents, you might want to think about providing a leasing option for the smaller guy so he can still play. You can actually capitalize on that because you're doing the right thing, right? You're all about safety.
Yeah.
That's what you're pitching to the world, is that you're all about safety. You're making your profit.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's a good story, right? All right, the next page, page 6, is marketing plan. Effective marketing. Nobody can succeed without effective marketing. Nobody knows about your service. Nobody knows about your product. How are they going to buy it from you? How are they going to learn about it? How are you going to get that message out?